Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a great and wonderful day. And unfortunately, for anybody that's on the PlayStation, I don't think you guys are going to be having a great day at all. I think a lot of people that are on consoles are really going to start seeing the effect of the dystopian and slash horrible marketing practices that the Xbox is going to give out, or PlayStation, or any of these console companies are going to give out. And I really want people to understand here is that the console is usually very tight knit in terms of what you can and cannot do on the actual platform in itself, and what a lot of these companies are doing per se to you. And we have this here. We have PlayStation Store is removing 1,300 seasons of Discovery TV shows, even if users bought them. This is a huge problem. And we are, I think I did a video about this not too long ago, or a while ago, actually, not too long ago, a while ago, about where they were doing this stuff they were talking about doing this for removing your profile or your account with all the stuff that you purchased if it's been gone for like 2 to 3 years. This is pretty insane to me that this stuff is going on like this. So what we're going to do is that we have this from the PlayStation Underground. PlayStation announced that individuals who purchase discovered content through their platform will have their purchased content removed December 31st, 2023. This is why internet piracy is alive and well. So we have this from their legal notice. Legal update notice from PlayStation. Just discovery entitlements affected titles. As of December 31st, 2023, due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and the content will be removed from your video library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. Thank you, PlayStation Store. So, that means everything that you bought is inaccurate. You don't actually own it, it's gone, and stuff like that. This is the reason why I have a huge problem with people with these online services and these and all this stuff, right? Because they can just remove the content from whenever they want. All your purchase stuff, all that stuff gone. And I know this is another problem what I have with like the movies and stuff. Like, we're completely reliant on people to keep our services and our stuff up. And we don't have the physical copies. Normally, if we have physical copies, we could still watch all this stuff. Even though the streaming is very huge right now. But we need to have people held accountable for things when they do stuff like this. So we're going to go through this here. Sony recently sent messages to players who had previously purchased Discovery shows on the PlayStation Store, informing them that they would soon be unable to watch them. As of December 31st, due to our content licensing, etc., all that stuff will be removed. It says, a page on the PlayStation's website lists the content that will be removed at the end of the year, consisting of 1,300 separate seasons of TV. This includes such shows as Mythbusters, An Idiot Abroad, Cake Boss, Deadliest Catch, American Chopper, Shark Week, How It's Made, and Street Outlaws. The situation is notable in that it differs from the typical policy when games are delisted for licensing reasons. In most cases like this, players are usually still able to play and even re-download delisted games. It would appear that the same is not true for video content, however. Indeed, this isn't the first time the content has been removed in this way from the PlayStation Store. In August 2022, Sony removed Studio Canal content from the PlayStation Store, with 314 pieces of video content removed in Germany and 107 removed in Austria. As with the Discovery content, players who have bought any of these videos are unable to watch them after they delisted. The PlayStation Store stopped referring TV and movie content for purchase or retail in August 2021. However, when it initially announced this, it said existing purchases would still be available to access. Well, it doesn't seem to be true, right? Because as we can see here, they're obviously delisting these movies and videos, etc., and now you won't have access to them, even though you paid money for it. So say, for instance, a good example, you bought this controller, right? I know this is a crap trying to make controller, but I'm trying to make a point here, people, that you bought that controller, and then all of a sudden, this controller, or that controller specifically that I showed you, is not available for you to use. You can't use it anymore. It's not, you just straight up can't use it, but you bought it. You paid $30-$40 for it. Sometimes these controllers go for $60. And all of a sudden you can't use it. It's out of order. You can't use it. But you still have it, but you literally can't use it. That's insanity to me. And this is what these companies and these online things are doing, is that it's just making things that you purchased unusable, which is insane. And I think our government really needs to get on board with the things that are happening here, because this is insanity. We can't just have companies be doing stuff like this. It's really insane. As PlayStation, at the very least, when it has stuff like this, when you do things like this, that we need to make a law to where if companies are doing stuff like this and they're removing your stuff, okay, by all means, remove your stuff. But they have to give you they have to give everybody that purchases stuff all their money back. They have to. Otherwise, it's a huge problem. We have this here as well. PlayStation is deleting TV shows players paid for thanks to Warner Bros. And while the promise of an all digital streaming space feature felt like it had a lot of benefits, now it's all starting to crumble a bit. And now one of the worst case scenarios is happening over on PlayStation. Sony has announced that certain TV shows that players may have bought through PlayStation will be deleted from the libraries. Yes, shows you pay for just deleted. Which shows? That would be Discovery shows, and the culprit yet again seems to be not necessarily Sony itself, but this is another move from Warner Bros., who has been stripping content from its service and deleting finished products to save on residual and get tax breaks, respectively. Yeah, this is what's going to go on here. This is a whole issue, and again, they need to be sued for stuff like this, and they need to give back everybody their money for stuff. Maybe you can't. I can understand in some scenario, right, where obviously your service, if you go out of business, I mean, you have to pay to keep those services up, obviously, or what have you. Like, you gotta keep your you gotta have paid to pay to keep the services up, which means if you can't keep the services up and all that stuff on the platform, obviously it has to go away. That's understandable, and that if you're failing, that you're failing. But you need to give the customers their money back, straight up. It just needs to happen. You need to give their money back. It doesn't mean if you do it like a subscription base where it just goes down. Okay, that's one thing. You're not really losing anything, or what have you. But if you paid for something, you need to have your money back, straight up. And we have this here. Friday the 13th game shutting down to be delisted. We have this Friday the 13th game expiration of license. The time has come. Our license to Friday the 13th will expire on December 31st, 2023. On that date, Friday the 13th, the game will no longer be available for sale both physically and digitally. The game, however, will continue to function through at least December 31st, 2024 if you already own it. At this time, we made the decision to reduce the price to $4.99 for the base game and $1 for each piece of DLC content. We continue to offer the title and content at that price point right up until it's removed from digital physical storefronts on December 31st, 2023. Again, a lot of this digital stuff is really becoming scary, and we're starting to see the actual horrible negatives of this content. And now that this is pretty much out of the way and all this stuff is gone, we have an issue, right? We just have a problem to where companies are going to be delisting stuff and not paying people back, and I think we need to be wary. I think most people should probably and most likely get off of the console. They're becoming way more dystopian as of late. Don't get me wrong, I'm not just hating on PlayStation. Xbox recently is doing something like this as well, and I think even Microsoft for Windows 11 are trying to do similar things to that kind of a corruptive nature, so I think we should be warned of that. So there's a lot of things that I have concerns about. The government needs to get an act. Of course, our government is insanely corrupt, as the video you've seen from last time, where it's just not going to be... It's going to be a while before our government is fixed, put it that way. And guys, just be wary. Be careful of the PlayStation stuff. Don't go into this digital type of content. Don't buy things that can just be immediately removed. That's my opinion. I think everybody should just buy subscriptions and be safe on that. And I have also made this mistake too, where I have bought things online and whatever for digital, and I also run the risk of losing all my stuff that I paid for. And I'm hoping that our government gets an act together and at least has your money returned to you, so that way you at least get your money back at the very least. At the very least, that way you can go purchase it somewhere else, etc. All right. So it really sucks, guys. It really sucks. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, 'cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.